Hi, so now we're going to talk about challenges of minority men in terms of dating in the United States. Um, there's this thing called hypergamy, what academics refer to as hypergamy, and it's a tendency of females to date up through the social ranks for various interesting reasons. One is to provide for the welfare of her kids. So the biological function of a female is actually to look for a suitable mate. So what are the implications for minority men? In general, minority men are living in a foreign territory or their native territory, but they're not a representative of the majority. Um, Thus, they're not really part of the club or the group of people that have control to resources, including money, education, and beauty. Um, in this case, a minority man will always find challenges. And I'm talking about just a normal average minority guy, not some strange outlier who's like really good at making money or an athlete or something. I'm just saying the normal cut and dry minority guy. Usually, what ends up happening for these minority men is that they date within their culture or within their group. So a Latino guy would date a Latina girl, and an Asian guy would date a Asian girl, or a black guy would date a black girl. But at the same time, um, consider that these females in the minority groups are looking to date up um, through the mechanisms provided by hypergamy. And so the minority men, just because of their starting point in the environment that they're living in, they're finding that their women actually to fulfill her biological imperative, will date up away from the minority group unless that minority group is already powerful or established. And I know it sounds a little bit theoretical at this point, but I think it has a lot of real world applications and implications for minority men. Minority men in general, I don't think are enjoying the same successes as, say, for example, a white guy. The white guy can choose basically from a plethora of races. He can basically say, okay, I want to try date an Asian girl, try a Latin girl. But at the same time, a minority guy is kind of like restricted in that regard because he doesn't have like what I call the pole position in society. So, in a way, what can a minority guy do? And one is there's just a couple of solutions. One is learn game, and it's a interesting subject to learn either as a development of your masculine core. Learning game will allow you to learn these strategies and tips. They'll allow you to bag the female. But at the end of the day, you're still limited by your status in society, and status actually has a lot to do in dating. It turns out. Another is to do an expatriation, or basically what you call a location arbitrage, where you're basically leveraging um, your race towards a different group. So, say for example, you're Korean, you go to Colombia, where you're automatically seen as exotic, and you'll enjoy like good leverage in terms of the images, and they bring prosperity, wealth. So in that regard, expatriation, I've done both of them. I've learned through game and had decent successes. But at the end of the day, I think expatriation would actually leverage more. I now know game plus. I'm gonna be leveraging my race. So